This is all we are going to need to build one. On this side we have two sheets of Depron. This one is 2 millimeters, quite flexible because it is only the foam, it doesn't have any paper or cardboard face. And this one is 5 millimeters. Additionally, you are going to need a ruler. This one is a metal ruler, 50 centimeters, and this one is a 1 meter. It's quite useful sometimes. If you don't have one this large, the smaller one will suffice, no problem. But it's better to be metal, because if you are cutting with this kind of blades, the metal ruler is very important so that it doesn't go into the plastic ones. Maybe this will help also. I keep it close in case I need it. Then you might need a sanding block. This one has a finer grit and a coarser grit. And you are going to need some tape. I have here 3 types. This is normal paper tape. This is like the one that you use on the boxes, plastic, and this is a smaller tape that you will use to connect the parts that you will cut off from paper. A pen or pencil, scissors, this is also very handy, and 2 cutters. You can use either one. Be very careful, this can hurt you, especially this one. This one you can protect it, and this one, well, some have a cover, but anyway, it's very sharp. So if you don't feel comfortable using these kind of tools, please use the scissors, don't hurt yourself. And some hot glue. The hot glue cannot be too hot or else it will melt the foam. So either you get make some tests and get a hot glue gun that at full power, and after a while connected to the mains, you see that you test it on a piece of scrap Depron and it doesn't melt it. Or you have to get one that it has an adjustable heater, or well, you can connect and disconnect your regular one, but don't use it so hot that it will melt the foam. Be careful with that. Then for our model we are going to need some servos. I have here 2 9-gram servos. These are standard 9-gram servos, nothing special, no metal gears, very simple. This is all equipment I had from other models that I am going to use here. So 2 standard 9-gram servos, and I have here something to connect them. You can use Z-bands or whatever you like. I have here these kind of mechanisms, and you are going to need 2 push rods. These are 0.9 millimeter steel push rods, and they have a nylon outer sleeve. So the sleeve is going to be glued to the airplane, and the push rods going to move the surfaces. This is a standard 2.4 gigahertz receiver from Hobby King. That's the radar I'm going to use on this model. Then on the tip of the push rods I'm going to use this kind of horn, because it's light, it's small, you just put it in and it's very effective, very easy to install. It goes like this. You put it in the foam and then you put this washer on the other side and a little bit of glue, and it's done. You are also going to need some rubber bands, a battery. I'm using a 400 milliamps 7.4 volt 2 cell, so lithium battery, And for power, I'm going to use a multiplex BLX 2218 motor with a 9 3/8 APC slow flight prop. Yeah, it's a big prop, but it's perfect for this motor with 2 cells, and you really want to go slow with this aircraft. It's the purpose of it. It's a park flyer, so big prop, low pitch, it's the way to go. And an 18 amp speed controller. With this combo and 400 milliamps battery, I can get about 15 minutes flight time, going normally, not pushing for the engine and not sparing on the battery. If you go and spare the battery, use some lifts that you might find, you can even go further than 15 minutes. So 400 milliamps battery, it's good enough for just a walk in the park and have some fun. You of course are free to adjust the power package, everything. So the wing is dimensioned and the reinforcements to this kind of power. It's 50 watts, 52 watts. So be careful with the kind of power you put it on, so that the wing doesn't fold. It won't with this kind of power, full power and full throws. I didn't manage to fold my wing, so it take all I could throw at it. But anyway, it all depends on how you construct it, how you glue it. It has so many variables. So I would watch this model has a park flyer, leisure flyer, weekend flyer, and keep it simple. And if you want to go make some maneuvers, acrobatics, well, probably you should just pick another plane and not this one. I'm thinking about designing several types of wings for this fuselage. One of them is an acrobatic wing, so who knows? If I do, and if you feel that I should do it, please leave in the comments. But if I do it, of course I will make it available for free, like the plans for this one. Okay, this is all we need to get started. I'll just print out what I need to cut the parts of the aircraft from the files, and let's get started building this. I have now printed the 7 sheets of plans for the Cuorantine. There are 5 sheets of parts and 2 sheets that are for information. This is the wing information sheet that it contains the dimensions and the layout for the center section, the biggest part of the wing, and for the 2 wing tips. And this one gives you the dimensions for the main wing spar. Well, before we begin the construction of the wing, I have a small tip for you. You are going to be required to bend this in order to make the wing profile. As you can see, it makes quite an acute angle. We do not want this. We want a nice round leading edge. Get a glue stick from a hot glue gun, put it in the middle score and bend in before you glue it, bend the material around it. And that's it. Well, we have all the parts we need to start building the wingtips, so let's get started. First of all, because this is hand cut, not CNC cut, the ribs may not be exactly the same. So what you may do is grab a piece of scrap 5mm Depron, kind of line them up and insert the 5mm scrap piece on the slot. Now you can see that they really have some differences here and there, so it's a good time for you to try to sand them off and to make them all equal. A gentle sand, not too much force. The material is quite soft, so, and you don't need them to be perfect anyway, so yeah. The leading edge is kind of important because this is what will give the shape of the wing leading edge. So it's, if you can make it kind of round, it would be nice. It's important for the flight characteristics. Now these ones are corrected. Let's check the wing spars. These ones are okay, no need to correct anything. So we grab one of the wingtips, and before folding we have two tasks to do. You have to pick up a pencil or something similar, and with the back side, which is round, you are going to score the center line so that the Depron folds easier. And also the biggest one, you are also going to score its line. The second task is you are going to fold it, to turn it upside down, and you might use whatever tape you want. I'm going to use regular packing tape. Just going to make a mark here and another one there for me to know where the center is, and apply the packing tape. It's important because otherwise the chance for the Depron to chip is very, very high. Cut it to size. And that's it. It's all you have to do before gluing the inside structure. So now we need 2 ribs and 1 spar. These are going to be installed in the biggest part of the profile, on the side of the biggest part of the profile, and you should line it up the leading edge with the center line. when gluing. But first of all, let's glue the two so the spar to the ribs. Again, a word of caution here, because you don't want to get burnt with the glue, and you also don't want it to melt the foam. So you have to do some tests before and check if the temperature is okay for the glue for you to use. Otherwise you might end up either burning yourself and or melting the foam. Right, so structure is ready, and the main thing is to align with the inner part of the wing platform and with the leading edges. Let's glue it in place. Take your time, the glue doesn't set instantly. Line up the ribs. Make sure they are in correct position. See if the temperature is right. You might even touch the glue with your hands, it doesn't burn. So, but be careful. If you are not experienced using this kind of glue, be careful, ask for help. Don't go put your fingers in hot glue without knowing, okay? Nice, so that's done. Now we want to bend this over and check how it goes. As you can see, it makes a nice round edge profile. Nice, very nice for low speeds. So the fit is correct. Let's glue it also. Little bit here. That's it. Again, make sure you line it up. And make contact with the inner structure. Okay, so just trim here a little excess glue that goes, when you push it goes outside sometimes. And now it's time to bend this part. Generally this part does not need the tape. As you can see, the bend is quite softer, so just check the fit. It's a little bit oversized on purpose. You can trim it out later. And once you're happy with it, just, yeah, some glue would be nice. you must have glue for it to work. Put it on the table and bend it over. Hold the profile to its shape and just hold it for a little bit. Here it is. Next step is to make the center part of the wing. I have here laid out the parts we need to build it, but let's start by applying the duct tape on the line where the bend is going to be made, and to score right on the line to facilitate the bend. As with the smaller wingtips, I prefer to give a round shape before I really do this for real with the wing profiles. This way the foam has some memory and we will retain a more round shape instead of a more pointy shape. With the smaller ones you can use some hot glue gun glue stick, but I used some brass tubing, but any round thing that you may find around the house will do for this. Okay, now let's do the same thing we did with the wingtip profiles. The difference is that these ones get 2 layers of 5mm deprom and one of 2mm balsa. This is how the main spar is going to be made. So line them up and then get your profiles as best as you can aligned, and if you feel the need you can sand them lightly so that they are similar to each other. Again, this is just it's not necessary for it. It doesn't mean it won't fly if you don't do this, but you make a straighter wing if you do it. The leading edge is the point where you want to get more attention. This is more than enough. Okay, now that this is done, I have here already prepared the 3 components for the main spar, and we have to glue them sandwiched like this before we apply it to the wing. Do it one part at a time so that you don't the glue doesn't either dry or you don't misalign the parts. Let me check. Yeah, not too hot, not too cold. It's nice. You don't need to put a layer of glue, also because this hot glue is kind of heavy, so but you don't need it anyway. This is a very light airplane, it's a park flyer, so you don't need a huge amount of glue to avoid it from rekeeping itself in flight. align it by the bottom and by the slots. First one is done. And the second, I'm going to apply it now. Okay, so the wing spar is done. Let's dry fit the wing ribs to check if they are okay, if the fit is okay, or if they need some more adjustment, because this is hand cut, so the precision is relative and you might need some adjustments. Also, it depends on the thickness of the line of your pen or pencil or whatever you use to make the lines, because it really has some thickness in the line. And if you do here, for example, a line, I can really measure it to be almost 1 millimeter, and the edge of whatever you use to make the line is on one of the sides, so if you miss both sides you get 2 millimeters off. It's again not a big problem, just adjust it before gluing and that's all you have to do. This one is a little shallow, so quick adjustment. That one's okay. This one is also a little bit shallow. Again, this is not really necessary for the kind of precision we are looking for here, but it makes your model a little bit sharper, smoother. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now what I have to do is to glue this to the wing, the whole assembly. Instead of gluing the ribs to the spar beforehand, we are going to glue them first like this to the wing, and then if you want you can apply a little bit of glue to secure better the ribs to the spar, but I don't find it really necessary because they are going to be glued anyway to the wing. Okay, let's glue this. I have just noticed another one just a little bit shallow, so better wait than don't doing it, so I'll just give it a little adjustment now. This is a prototype, it's not, of course, well established and built and flown kit, so these issues are, at least in my opinion and in my experience, quite normal. Okay, align again the leading edge and the outer ribs with the lines. That's the most important one. This one's okay. That one's okay. Nice. So the trickiest part is done. I'm gonna need some more glue. And now for the top side. Don't go all the way back, go until the spar only, because this is quite a big wing and you are going to manage to do it anyways. If you go only up to the spar, the material is flexible enough and will let you apply the glue behind, on the area behind the spar, in a second phase. Almost there. So just to show you, if you apply all the way back, it does glue, but it's quite a big surface. You never know if you misalign it, so I prefer to do it in two phases. And as you can see, if you don't glue it, this is flexible enough for you to get there and apply glue one more time. And now only here in the trailing edge. And that's it. It's complete. Very rigid, very strong for its weight. Now all there is to do is, again, if you want to give it some sanding here to make it flush, not completely necessary for it to fly, but so first let's glue the doublers. they go flush with the underside of the fuselage. You just align them up, press them down. And you are done for this one. So you repeat the steps for this one and those two. Then it's time to put on the formers. Don't worry if they don't line up perfectly, because afterwards you have plenty of material to round up with a sanding block and make a nice round fuselage profile at your discretion, of course. Oh, just glue this on. Again, be careful with the temperature of the hot glue gun, because if it is too hot it will melt the foam and you do not want that. It can also burn you if it is too hot. So even like this, a small amount of glue, when you press it down it will go on the sides and might catch your fingers, so if it is too hot it will burn you. It's better for you to test first in a piece of scrap material, so for you to check the temperature and have it the correct temperature you want. You fine tune it once, then that's it. Every other time you just use it on the temperature you set. Okay, the sides are done. Now to glue the formers. First one here lined up with the leading edge of the wing. Just checking, about 19 degrees. It's not too important, but anyways, it's nice to have a cool fit. Okay, I will correct this in the plan. This former is a little bit too high. The plan that you are going to receive, be able to download, it will have this already corrected. Just a tiny bit for it to fit. Yeah. Okay, now it's time to glue both the other sides. So it's only the formers that are going to be glued at this time. And now we can glue the bottom part. A little bit here on the formers. Again, lining up with the sides. I want to put some more glue here. And the only thing left is to glue this and this on top. Before we do this, let's put all the equipment we need inside, because you have easier access with this open, and then we glue them on top to finish up and give him a little sand to round it up, make it prettier. For the last part of the wing assembly, we are going to need, of course, the wing parts and two types of tapes. This is packing tape and this is cotton lined tape that you can shear easily with your fingers. Why? Because I want this to be kinda removable for transport. Not removable, but the wingtips are going to be folded this way for transportation. Smaller, easier, and less prone to damage. What do we need then? First of all, we need to put some of this packing tape on the top side of the wing, so that when the other tape glues to this part to secure the wing in place for flight, it doesn't deteriorate the material that they from. Just cut a piece and apply in place, as easy as that. On this side, we don't want to remove the tape, so we want it to stay there always. So first of all, we have to make the hinge, which is here. Align the wing and apply a piece of this one on the inside to secure it in place and provide a durable hinge that will last for a lot of time, a long time. Now I won't shear it with the fingers, because with your fingers it will go in a straight line, and I want to go with the profile. Okay. On the bottom, you might leave it as is, or you can cut also this part. Be very careful with your blade. It's a very sharp blade, it can hurt you in no time. Okay, and we have a hinge, at least on the inside. Now for the outside. First of all, get a piece just for it to be close and maintain no gap here. Oh, that's a problem. Now for the underside. Press it well so that you have no gap here. And just put another piece of tape on the underside. And now the hinge is complete. This will last for wherever flights your airplane lasts. I hope a lot of them. And now, what is going to secure this for flight is this part. You don't need a big piece, because anyways the wing is going to be making uplift here, so it's only a question of securing it in place. Not too many flight stress come from here. Yeah, that's it. Now just bend the last half centimeter of the tape, and there you have it. It's complete. This is more than enough to hold the wing in position for flight. And you want to disassemble it as easy as that. You can press it down for storage. You want to use it again, lift it, put the wing in position, and secure it. Now the same for the other side. So I have finished the fuselage, at least the initial part, and we are now taking care of the elevator and of the rudder. To install them, what we are going to do is to put some tape, regular tape, to make the hinge, and we have to carve a little bevel on one part. How are we going to do this? Not at all difficult. First part is to put the tape and now I have made some marks that are aligned with the top line. And I'm going to make a score, not fully to the bottom because I don't want to cut the tape, but about 70%, so that allows me to do this. Just open it up a little bit. Okay, now I do a second cut, just a little bit deeper, taking care not to cut through the tape. If you do cut, just apply some more. And now you have a movable surface. Now to make the bevel here, either you make a small line, 2 millimeters away is enough from the gap. You fold it over and very careful with the knife. You just cut on the line. If you cut again, if you cut the tape, just apply some more, as I did here. So the fix is get some tape and apply it over, and it's done. So this is more than enough down elevator, and it's complete. Now the same with the elevator, with the rudder. Align it, make the first cut, and then the second one. I'm not going to draw a line on this one. On the rudder, make a bevel slightly bigger than on the elevator, because normally you are going to need more deflections on the rudder than you are going to need on the elevator. This is enough. Just going to straighten it up with the sanding block. And again, it's done. Some of you might want to put on the inside, yeah, some tape, it's no problem. Nothing bad to it. On the rudder, which is a surface that we use a lot for control, because it's one of the primary control surfaces on this aircraft, which is only 3-channel. So now gluing them to the fuselage. The elevator has its position. Glue. That's it. If you want to check if it is square, can use this and check here vertically if it is. Last piece on the tail is the rudder. I did cut it a little short, so I have to enlarge a little bit here and a little bit here. If you feel some difficulty in inserting the rudder, another tip, just smash a little bit the bottom of it, making it some kind of thinner, and there you are. Okay, dry fit is good. Apply the glue and fix it in place. Yeah, check it is square. Good. Next up is the firewall. I have already cut the firewall to my motor size, and it has a slightly wider slot for the cables. So I'm going to glue it in place. The same way we glue everything else in this airplane. Some hot glue. Check where you want the cables to go to. I want mine to leave here on top. Now for the hatch, we are going to cut 2 centimeters of the front of one side because it is a rectangle, and this part is going to be glued permanently to the Cuorantine. So for the hatch, you get some balsa, get the size of the opening, make sure you line the wood vanes with the aircraft so that you get more resistance from it, and make a mark. You don't want a big piece, any centimeter will do. As with everything in this aircraft, this is a low effort part, so low flying airplane, low speed, you have nothing to worry about regarding the structural strength on most of the parts. And that's it, the hatch is made, and it will be secured by a rubber band here. Before installing the servos and the engine, all that is left to do is to round it off, give it some shape if you like, and finish it up aesthetically speaking, and then you can install your radio and you're all set. I have now installed the radio. Servos are installed. They are glued with hot glue. The receiver, it has some velcro. The speed controller has some velcro also. And the battery, for now, it's not fixed. It's just I just weighed it there for balancing. So it has come the time to test fly the Cuorantine. However, there is one last thing to do before we take to the air. First thing is to program your radio, or at least to confirm that the movements are made in the correct directions and you are happy with the deflections. And then you have to check the center of gravity. How do we do that? You have to measure and make a mark on the side of the fuselage on the distance that the instructions tells you to, and then assemble the airplane with everything as it was to fly. Batteries in here, do not connect it. This is a static test. Install the wing. I have made a small line in the center so that it's easier to line up the wing when putting it on the fuselage. And then with the tip of your fingers, get them on the mark and see how the plane stays. This is okay. This is the correct attitude, with slightly nose down. This is the initial center of gravity. Of course, then you can adjust it to your preferences of flight characteristics, but this is the initial CG. It will give you a very, very nice flying, very forgiving model. And now, yes, now we are ready to fly. Okay guys, so everything's ready, radio is on, motor battery is on, control directions, and yeah, everything is okay. One final check for the CG. Yeah, so here it goes. It has come the time for the first flight of the Cuorantine. Air is pretty much still. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to throw it half throttle. Not even half throttle. Like test. Just a little bit to the right. 2 clicks to the right. And away it goes. So stable. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Park fire. Slow. Stable. For cruising around. Oh, very nice. It's so smooth. Oh, I'm sure you are going to enjoy it. It's so smooth, the controls. And you can have it very close to you. No problem at all. Now to the other side. Yeah, let's check some performance. Oh, it's yeah, more than enough. Gliding, power off. It has a big prop up front, a 9 by 3/8 APC slow fly. So anyway, it's not a brick, it behaves. Okay, I'm going to position myself for some loopings and testing the airframe resistance. Let's go. Yeah, that's good. No problems whatsoever here. Yeah, I can't do anything that will get it to break, so very, look at that, just so smooth. There is something rattling inside. I think the wires may be touching the sides and vibrating. It shouldn't be any vibration anyway, it's an electric engine, but you know, sometimes the prop isn't also very precisely calibrated. I have to check that. But oh so smooth. Okay, let's position up for coming in to a landing. I'm going to try to catch it. It's the way I fly all my park fly airplanes. Oh, it's so predictable. There you have it, guys. I hope you enjoy your quarantine as much as I am enjoying mine. Thank you for watching.